It's crazy to think that we're part of this massive creation, but yet God has a particular value for us specifically in this mass whatever this is, this huge rock with vegetation and water on it. Man, this is all us to have dominion over. That's the crazy part, you know? Mom was 17. I don't know how old my dad was when she had me, but she was a senior in high school. I was there for graduation. I was there for prom. I have the constant reminder of that. But as joyful as that may sound, you know, it was a lot of hurt in that household. There was a lot of domestic violence. You know, I would see my mom get hit, see this thing. There was always some arguments going off. Just a lot of hurt and brokenness, and it's a shame because, you know, no child should have to see that go through. You know, no child should ever see their parents go at it like they did. You know, but at the end of the day, that's where I come from. Those are where my roots are. But parents were never married, so the split wasn't as hard as I would have imagined, but still was difficult. So they split when I was about 5 years old. I lived with my mom up until that point. Grew up on Temple Road, went to F.S. Edmonds Elementary School, met a lot of kids, had a lot of friends, a lot of fun. Going outside was a thing back then. Nowadays, it's all about being on the video games, but even my childhood was difficult. You know, I had to endure bullying. You know, there was this one kid who he would pick on me. He picked on me from the day we moved into the house. He'd just pick on me for no reason. I would get beat up, get rocks thrown at me, get teased, get talked about for reasons that I'm not really sure of, but there was all a purpose behind that. And you know, I even thought about committing suicide at 11 years old. Like, who would have ever thought that I would have ever thought about doing something like that? But thank God I didn't do that, you know? I wouldn't be here today, right? So even through that, you know, there was strength, there was purpose, there was perseverance at 11 years old that I wasn't really aware of, but it was there, you know? From that point of childhood, I moved on, grew up, became a little teenager. You know, my mom told us when I was 13, she said, we're moving out to Portland, Oregon. I was like, what, for what? Everything we got is here. My family's here, our friends are here. Everything we got, everything that we need is here. What are we moving for? But ignorant was I then, you know? She did it for reasons that I never really thought about. But I'm glad she did because I'm not in jail, I'm not dead, I'm not out there selling drugs. That's the world, that's the environment that I rose from. Those are the kind of breeds that community they produce. So we came out here in a vulnerable situation. No job security, no friends, no anything, no family. My family wasn't even here, but my uncle had an apartment out in Gresham, Oregon. About a month in, my mom still has no job. I'm just now getting to meet people at my middle school. I was in the 8th grade at the time. And we got evicted for reasons that I'm not aware of still to this day. Next thing I know is that we're homeless. 13, you know, a jobless mom, 13-year-old kid, and a 5-year-old little brother who's asking what's going on every day. Being homeless, man, like, all I can say is gratitude. That is the word that I would use to express the result of me being homeless. Gratitude. I do not take what I have for granted. And like sometimes I do, I'm human, but for the most part, in terms of the clothes that are on my back, in terms of the food that's in my refrigerator from time to time, the money that's in my pocket, man, just the job that I have like that, my appreciation for what the Lord is doing for me is beyond imaginable because homelessness isn't for anybody. We're not designed to be homeless. I don't care what anybody says. You see homeless people on the side of the road, and you see homeless people downtown, you see homeless people. I saw somebody last night behind Red Robin. That's not the kingdom of God at all. That's not what this is about. It shouldn't be in existence. It makes me have more of a passion to fight against that stuff, and it makes me have, like I said, an appreciation, but it gets me angry at the brokenness of this world. I use that word a lot, but the brokenness of this world, this is a result of Genesis 3. This is why Christ came and is redeeming, is turning all of this stuff around. This homelessness should not be in existence. That's all I can say. We have something to fight for. We really do. People shouldn't go hungry. People should have to worry about whether or not they're gonna have a roof over their head tonight or wake up tomorrow morning in a bed. Come on now. That doesn't make sense to me. Being bullied, I then, I would take that instance and then take that out on somebody else. And as a result, I can see how brokenness is just the common theme and the common thread between all of this stuff. Like, it's really, it makes me want to love people more because my bully actually passed away when we were 14 from an aneurysm. So all that time that we were fighting, all of that time that we were arguing and being dumb, we could have been friends. And from that, from being bullied and then seeing the result of him dying, like it changed my whole mindset on that stuff. Like, we don't have time to sit here and fight each other. We really don't, because you never know whether or not somebody else is going to be gone the next day. You have no idea. We're 14 and he dies. One of the biggest regrets in my life, but I just pray that he's resting with the Lord, One night I went to this Young Life event, and this man named Phil Zahn, who's a brother to me, he's a mentor, helped change my life, the whole trajectory of my entire life. He gave this analogy in his message. He talked about Jamba Juice. Weird, right? Jamba Juice, and he said, God gives us this smoothie when we're born, right? And this smoothie has all the ingredients in it that we need in order for it to be nutritious, in order for it to be delicious and all of this stuff. But throughout our lives, we put in these ingredients that don't belong, that do nothing but that contribute to intoxication within this Jamba Juice smoothie, right? And I was like, man, that's terrible. You don't do that to Jamba Juice smoothies. I'm sitting there contemplating this thing. I'm like, what? But he says, what we can do is give this smoothie back to Jesus, and he'll renew it. He'll remake this smoothie. Not take it, not throw that one away and then build another one, but take what is already there and reframe it and put in back the ingredients that can be tainted. But as crazy as that metaphor and analogy is, it made sense for me. And I was like, I want that. I like Jamba Juice for one, and I want that new smoothie, From there, I messaged him on Facebook. I said, hey, I want that smoothie. And he said, you got it. This is what we can do. We can meet up, talk about Jesus. And I said, all right, cool, let's do it. We met up, and he preached the gospel in its essence. Not anything extra, not taken away from the gospel, but just what it meant. And I was like, let's do this. So from that, Christ changed my life. And the cool thing is, man, I wasn't even raised Christian. Not even a lick. I was raised Muslim. The reason I get out of bed every morning is because somebody needs to know that they're loved today. Whether that's through me holding the door for them, me hugging them, me giving love to them, Jasmine, or whatever. Somebody needs to be loved. And that's the sole inspiration for me getting up in the morning. And that comes strictly from God, to love other people. That's it. So right now, this is Beaverton High School. I went here 9th to 12th grade, graduated. And this is old stomping grounds, man. This is almost 4 years ago I was here. This was life for me, man. Like, this is where I became a man in a sense, through different avenues, of course, but this was it. And I thank God for this school. It really helped shape me and mold me to the man that I am today. Yeah, found Jesus in this time. That's the cool part, It's 100 years old, man. So right now, I'm a junior in college. Right now, I'm a business major. Right now, I'm a boyfriend. All of that is soon going to change, because soon enough, I'm going to be graduated. And after that, I'll go to master's school. And I plan on being married in summer of 2018, so don't say anything. But my life is gonna go into deeper ministry through me starting businesses, through me really pursuing ministry in the format of me getting up and teaching my peers, people who are older than me, people who are younger than me, pouring to the next generation. That's where my life is going. It's all about not only me ascending into what God has called me to do, but bringing other people alongside with me. And whatever that looks like in terms of detail, I don't know yet. That's where I'm going. To me, the most beautiful thing in the world is not the trees that we see, or the landscape, or the sky meeting the landscape, or the sun, or the bees, or the birds, whatever. But the most beautiful thing in the world to me is the love of God. Like, it doesn't make sense how he loves us, but that's the one thing that continues to allow all of this to be in existence. And we have to acknowledge that. It's the most beautiful thing. My name is Hakeem Bradley. I was born in the one and only 95, the year of the pig. For those of you who aren't mathematicians, I'm 21 years old. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born and raised on the playgrounds where I spend most of my days. And honestly, man, like, what was intended to destroy me has actually helped formulate the man that I actually am today. That's domestic violence in the home, it's homelessness, it's suicidal thoughts as a child, it's being bullied, it's falling into sexual sin as a teenager, all types of sin. But what was intended for evil for me was actually made good by God. It's redemption in a nutshell. So, shout out to Jesus. See, once in my lifetime, I screwed this type of smoothie up, and then Jesus redeemed it, and he made it a white gummy. Lo and behold, this is me in a smoothie.